Guys, it's me, Lil Ninja, back with another video, and today we're doing What If Deku Was the Ninth Grade Ninja Part 2. And like I said, we're doing series this week, and this is the first series of the week. So I hope you will like this one. Also, new people aren't subscribing. Show people my content and make them subscribe. I want you to force them to subscribe to me. Without that, getting that out of the way, I don't have any shout outs right now, but I will next week. As long as you comment on my videos, you might be one of the people that I shout out next week. And we're not trying to get to 500 subscribers before the end of the year. And if we do, then we're going to try to get to 1,000 subscribers by the end of the year. So without further ado, let's get into the great video. It's Little Ninja time. We start off with Izuku and Kirishima and Mina finishing their training and making their way to the UA building. With with Izuku keeping his eyes on the prize, he would not trip, meaning he would not meet Uraraka. Uraraka would just walk in like everyone else. Of course, Izuku also has a tiny crush on Mina, so this is Izuku x Mina. So, yeah, sorry, Izuchaka fans. So, yeah. Well, getting back to the video, Izuku would sit down and be waiting for, the test. While Ida would interrupt President Mike for the same reason he does in canon, but not shouting out Midoriya. Midoriya not letting Ida finish his sentence, with Midoriya saying, "Listen, he was probably going to get to that before you interrupted him." President Mike would yell "yeah" and would get to the 0-pointer, with Ida feeling silly and then just sitting down, thinking he shouldn't have remarked that they forgot about the 0-pointer. Of course, Izuku would smirk and then get his test done immediately, because the Nomicon didn't only just make Izuku a strong person, it made him study. And Inko loved this. She loved watching the Nomicon make Izuku study. Every time he went into the seal on his hand, she loved how the Nomicon made him study. Izuku would finish it faster than anyone else and be have the highest score out of everyone there. Izuku waiting for the practical exams and defeating robots, he would stay inside of his group and wait, looking around, not seeing Mina, Bakugo, or anyone there that he knows from his school, meaning that they are separating people that are from the same school so that possibly they won't be able to have that much teamwork. Izuku is waiting for President Mike to say go, and as soon as the doors open, Izuku rushes out, summons his mask from his seal, and then just puts it on, turning into his ninja self, and then grabbing his grabbing kunai from his ninja suit, he would throw it at many different robots, gaining him a lot of points. Izuku just running around, and then use the shadow clone technique. And I know what you're thinking, shadow clone technique, that's from Naruto. No, I'm using a different shadow clone technique, like the clones are literally made from shadows. So yeah. As the clone, he made the clone so that he can cover more ground, which gained him a lot of more points. Basically making covering more ground got him many more points. He is getting so many points. He counts all the points, and all together he has 300 points. He stops at 300 because he doesn't want to go too overboard, especially since he has one for all. Izuku would take the mask off and then sit on a building, waiting for the test to be over. Izuku would see Chaka just under rubble, about to be crushed by the zero-pointer. Izuku would place his mask on, and they basically rush after Uchaka to try and save her and make sure that she isn't crushed by the zero-pointer. Izuku gets her out of there and then looks back at the zero-pointer, just fueling all of his anger, thinking about what could have happened if the zero-pointer actually got to Uraka. Izuku would fuel all of his rage, and then One For All started coursing through his veins, going up to the robot, slowly walking. Izuku would grab his sword and then slash the leg of the zero-pointer off. After that, Izuku would punt the zero-pointer into the air and then slam it back down with all of his force, creating a big crater. After that, the robot was totaled and basically could not function anymore. With that, the teachers that were watching were surprised, weren't expecting to see something like this happening. So, Izuku would take off his mask and then go back home, with Mina and Kirishima. But Izuku would have told them that he counted his points, saying that he got 300 points. Both of them being super surprised, not thinking that Izuku would get that many points. They didn't think he would go that overboard. They just thought he would go somewhat overboard, but not that overboard. Izuku and Kirishima and Mina will decide to have dinner at Izuku's place so they can celebrate, because Izuku knows he's getting in, and Mina and Kirishima know they're getting in, especially since they did a lot better. I say the rankings right now is Izuku, Bakugo, Kirishima, and Todoroki, then Mina, then Momo, and then everybody else. So, yeah. Izuku would get his letter, and basically everything that happened with that would happen. Him getting the hero points, and All Might talking about the hero points. Izuku would make his way to UA and try to fly in Class 1A. UA, Class 1A. I wonder why they did that. Probably for the gimmick, I guess. Izuku would begin to try and look for Class 1A, and he would eventually find it, going at the big door that they had, thinking about if there would be giants in his class. Making a sigh of relief as soon as he looked in class, there were no giants, fortunately. Izuku would basically sit down and just wait for class to start. Of course, Aizawa, after everyone was there, Aizawa would tell everyone it took them 10 seconds to quiet down. Rational students would do better. Izuku would just scoff, thinking that this is a high school and they got this guy here. Aizawa would see the scoff and then he would grin. So, the Wonder Boy is here. Or should I call you Wonder Ninja? Izuku would start to glare at Aizawa, with Aizawa giving the same glare. Aizawa would begin to like Izuku immediately, with the same going for Izuku. Izuku would walk up to the front of the class and would give Aizawa a fist bump. And Aizawa, that would just, both of them basically are in sync. Izuku would sit back down, and everything that happened to here would go exactly to canon, except for Izuku. Izuku would be the first one to throw, and Izuku would he would put everything, he would put one for all into that. I mean, he would put his mask on and then put one for all into this throw. He would basically put fire, his ninja strength, and one for all so that the ball went flying. The ball got an infinite because it went to space. So, yeah. Whew. Izuku would go back, and Aizawa would say, "This is what you need to do to prove yourself in a place like UA." Mina would not say the thing about this being fun because Izuku would have warned her before, meaning that Aizawa wouldn't have made the comment about expelling anyone. He still saw potential in all of them, so it wouldn't really matter it wouldn't really matter anyway. So yeah. Well, basically, what's next? Oh yeah, that. A few weeks later, Izuku, Mina, and Izuku and Mina, this is basically the weekend. Izuku would finally man up after a confidence boost from Kirishima telling Izuku to finally ask Mina out. Izuku actually finally doing that and actually gets a date with Mina. So, yeah. Izuku would take Mina, let's say, I don't know, just pick a place, I guess. Pick any place that you would think Mina and Izuku would go. So, yeah. Izuku, Mina, and Kirishima would make their way to UA, finally getting their hero costumes, knowing what will be happening today, since All Might clued them in like a week ago. About a week ago. Izuku was ready for this hero training. Of course, Izuku wouldn't have a hero suit. I mean, actually, he would. It would be a red version of the suit that he had before, with basically healing equipment for when he doesn't have, or for when he can't use the mask for some reason, or if he ever loses his seal. So yeah. Izuku would have basically smoke bombs in there just in case, and a bunch of other things. So yeah. Izuku would get paired up with Mina, while Bakugo would get paired up with Uraraka. Uraraka would stay at the bomb, while Bakugo would go with his canon self and basically try and find Izuku. Yeah. I said well twice. Now I said it 4 times, actually. Izuku and Mina would rush in, Izuku telling Mina to go find the bomb. He'll meet up with her. Izuku would put on his mask and then jump on the ceiling, and then start crawling on the ceiling. With this, Bakugo would pass both Mina and Izuku. Bakugo running around trying to find Izuku, not being able to find anyone at all. Izuku would get to where the bomb is, while Mina would meet up with Izuku. Izuku using Mina as basically as a distraction, while Izuku touches the bomb, giving them the win. So Izuku was made MVP because he came up with the distraction and basically everything. Mina really, was only the distraction, really. So yeah. Well, that means we have something, a new thing to go over as well. We time skip to the USJ arc. All the people are in the bus, and Sue starts talking about how Izuku's quirk is basically multi-purpose, giving him the abilities of a ninja, basically giving him plot armor, what Sue calls it. So yeah. And then Sue says, for all we know, he could fly. Izuku would kind of chuckle, thinking that what if he could fly? He would actually start to question it and would look into his seal and just pass out until he would be awoken by the Namicon and Mina at the same time, telling both of them that they are they are at the USJ. Izuku would sense a bunch of presents inside of the building, putting on his mask and actually telling everyone to wait here. Izuku even telling Aizawa to wait there. Izuku basically rushing in, seeing the portal open, and everyone is there. Izuku would have been ecstatic, thinking he'd finally get a real fight. Izuku would rush down, beating villains left and right. Every villain would basically not be able to get past Izuku. Izuku's pummeling them, smoke bombing them, electro balling them, fireballing them, punching them, everything. He's just taking every single person down. Shigaraki is just mad, and then he would finally summon the Nomu, while the portal man, I forgot whatever his name was, decides to basically try and find everyone else, not being able to because they're not inside, and Izuku's the only one in there. Izuku would pummel the Nomu. When I say pummel, I mean pummel. This version of Izuku is so OP, more OP than any of the other Izukus that I have ever made. He is so powerful. Very, very powerful. Using every weapon at his disposal, he would basically destroy the Nomu. So, yeah. Izuku being able to destroy the Nomu is basically very, very cool. Shigaraki would retreat with the portal man. I still don't know his name. Usually I remember it by now. With that, Izuku would go back out, taking the mask off, saying that he handled it, and they would actually get to do their hero training. So, yeah, that's a fun scene that I'm not going to be doing. So, yeah. Now, I think the next arc, what was the next arc? Sports Festival. After that, Izuku and his class would be told about the sports festivals and how the sports festivals are basically for them to show their power. And Aizawa would say, Izuku, you are not permitted to go to the sports festivals because you would absolutely destroy everyone there. You could legit do everything by yourself. You wouldn't need anyone. Aizawa is saying this nonchalantly because, it's literal. Izuku can destroy anyone there. And it's not even that funny. So, yeah, we're basically going to be following Bakugo's fight. Todoroki not really liking that Izuku can't fight him, because Todoroki wanted to prove himself that he can defeat anyone with just his ice. Even though he can't. He really can't. So Izuku would basically not be inside of this sports festival at all. So that means we're going to be following Bakugo. Of course, Bakugo would win the race because Izuku wasn't there and he has explosions, basically making himself even faster. Bakugo would basically get the same team in canon, while Todoroki would as well. While Ochaka would make her own team with, let's say, Jiro, Mineta, the guy that can make extra limbs. I forgot his name. And Sue. That would be Ochaka's team, and then everyone else's team. So yeah, Izuku would have fun watching this with everyone else. And that's basically where I'm gonna leave it off. I hope you liked the video, and I hope that you watch the next part of this series. While it won't be coming out this week, it will be coming out probably next week. I don't know. Just possibly, I guess. Well, without further ado, Little Ninja has to go. Little Ninja says bye.